Okay, as you may have been notified, this is recording now. So it will be posted and you'll be able to see it on our YouTube channel if you would like to go back and refer to it. Now, I want to first say hi to everyone. Hi, Emmanuel, Alain, Emmanuel, Jean-Claude, Zaki, and Aimable. Okay, are we ready to get started? Thank you for introducing yourself, Emmanuel Sanzum Kisa. Actually, what would be great is if you could go to chat box and tell us a little bit about yourself. It would be great to know where everyone's coming from today and what they're up to. So a little bit about yourself, what you do, and actually if there is something you want to make sure that we don't miss tonight. So if you have a question about specific cover letters or several questions, please put them in the chat box as well. And any contributions are very welcome. So please use the chat box as much as you can. Now I'm going to start. I'm going to be sharing my screen. I think if you're using a phone or a computer, you should be able to see the screen. But let me know if you're having any challenges with that. Okay, I'm sharing right now. Zakia, thank you for introducing yourself. Thank you for being with us tonight. Okay, now I'm about to start recording. I'm about to start sharing my screen and then we'll get started with, okay. Now, you should be seeing a resume. Someone please say yes if they're seeing the resume right now, a template that I'm using. Hello? Okay, great. Thank you for that. Now, oh, looks like we have 7 participants. I love that the number is going up. So I'll just get started. But before I talk about the different parts of a resume, I would like to hear from you what you put emphasis on when you're working on a resume. What are some aspects you make sure to work on? Or what are some important parts of your resume? Please go ahead and share. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, Emmanuel.
Yes. I think that this it's not very clear. I don't know if it's the problem of my eyes or it's the presentation which are not clear.
Do you mean okay? Do you see the resume?
I see it, but the words is not clear. I don't see where.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I am going to try and enlarge the page and maybe that should help.
Yes, you can increase the size.
So I have, do you still see it? Hello?
Yes.
Is anyone else facing the same problem?
You can increase the size and
Let's see. So I've been increasing. Do you see me increasing the size?
yes, here I can try to read now.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, press that.
Okay, great. This is the maximum, I think, size-wise, where we can see the whole page. Okay, great. Is anyone else facing any challenges seeing the page? Hello?
Yeah, for me, no challenge.
Yeah.
Seeing it.
Yes.
Go ahead, sorry.
I'm just saying this for me. I have no challenge. I'm seeing it, seeing the screen. It's fine.
Okay, thank you, Jean-Claude. Okay, I will get started. So I'll remove this disclaimer. This is a template that we usually share with our students or anyone who comes to us in need of help with working on their resume. So I'm going to quickly delete those Disclaimers. I apologize. I am having a hard time with my computer this evening, which is why we had a delay, but hopefully it'll let me edit. Give me a second. Okay. Hello. I am sharing again. I figured out what I had done wrong. Let me know again. Can you see the resume? Can you see my screen well?
I can.
Okay, I will go ahead and get started. Let me just open the chat box, make sure I don't miss anything. So again, I'm going to say this again. If you have any questions as I walk through the resume at any point, stop me and I will build more on that, okay? So of course, with your resume, it's important that you write your name because some positions, as you may know, some positions welcome over 100 or 1,000 applications. So it's important that if you have a resume or a cover letter, that it starts off with your name. Of course, at the head of the page, at the head of the resume, but also when it's saved, it should say resume, but also it should say your full name. That's very key because actually it's better to start with your name. So let's say if your name is Jean-Claude, write Jean-Claude in your full name, and then dash or underscore resume 2021 or resume August 2021. So that way, if let's say they think of someone and it's a place that receives a lot of resumes, they are able to find you faster. But if you share your resume and it's titled just resume, they probably have a billion of those and it will be hard to find your resume, yet they've liked you and they want to hire you. So saving is key. Make sure you save your name, your full name, and the resume. And actually, I would push you to go out further. Maybe you took the resume and you edited it for a specific role. In that case, make sure that you put the name of the position you're applying to and the name of the place where you're applying. For instance, if I were applying for my current role, it would be Yvonne Musime underscore resume 2021 underscore Bridge Career Services underscore career advisor. That way, it's very easy for the person to know who is applying, where are they applying, and for what position. And then at the top, remember to write your name. So I will be using my name this evening, and I'll say Yvonne. Okay, that's my name. I want you to take note of the fact that where I'm writing right now is just on the page. I am not writing in the header. Do you see the difference? A lot of people make that mistake where they write their name in the header. So let's say in this case, I write Yvonne. However, when you print this out, this Yvonne right here, this one here, will not show. So a lot of places print out the applicants' cover letters and resumes because they maybe don't want to read from a computer and would like to review this in paper. If they print out, you saved your name in the header and not on the actual page, it will not show. When it prints out, it will not be there, it will be blank. So that means they won't have a way of tracking the resume back to you. And as a result, you won't get that job. That's an important thing to remember. Next thing, put your email and your phone number right beneath that because they want to be able to reach out to you. In the past, we found that there are resumes where we find just the email, no phone number, but and this is just specifically to Rwanda and probably some other countries, but speaking as someone who works and lives in Rwanda, a lot of employers prefer to call, take their phone and call the applicant and probably set up an interview or even have a phone interview. In that case, it's crucial that you have a phone number that you use on the daily basis on your resume. So let's say 250-788-56789, blah, blah. So I'd say that's the phone number. So ensure that you have your phone number there. Second, if you're using your email, if you're adding your email, if you're applying to a job, it's best that you don't apply using your current job's email. I don't think that's professional. So use a personal email. Let's call it personal email at gmail.com. So don't use your work email. Use your personal email and use a current email, one at least that can be easily identified with you. So for instance, if this were my email, it would be yvonnemusime@gmail.com. That's an example. I know a lot of us opened our emails when we were probably in high school and we had cute names, or we had, you know, pet names we called each other. And so it's probably, I don't know, favorite pencil at skyrocket or rocketmail.com. Try and not use that email. If you can right now, if you haven't opened an official email account that you can use in a professional setting, do so right now and keep the older email that isn't as professional for things like social media and Facebook. And last but not least, it's important to have an address. It's not as important as these two, but it's great to know that the person who's applying is located in Rwanda, or if you're located in a different country, it's good to put that there so that way they know that you plan on moving here or you're going to be working remotely. Before I go any further, do you have any questions at this point? Hello?
Yeah.
I'll chat
Hello.
box. Yeah.
Yeah. My name is Jean-Claude. I think maybe I would like to ask you from what you've just mentioned lately
Mhm.
about having kind of like professional email.
Yeah.
Some of us we created like emails long time ago, and sometimes when you're writing it, you feel like I don't think this good. I think this is working in my favor. But again, I was wondering because I mean, at this like sometime like reach at a certain stage of life, where you've shared your emails
Mhm.
to a lot of places, a lot of places, and so would it be like a good idea to create a new one that that is more professional, or
Yeah.
keeping those wouldn't like be a bother, or how would you advise to that?
If it's one you've been using for a while, it's fine, especially this late. If you're a recent graduate or a current student at university, that would be a good time to transition. But if you still feel like, yes, you've been using this email for a long time, however, it's a funny email, I would encourage you to still create this new email. Try and get more and more people get that new email, whether in your address book or in new applications, and then check both. So that way you make sure you're not missing important correspondence on both emails. But if you could slowly transition more and more people to using your professional email, it'll be better for you and less work. That way you don't have to check two emails at the same time. Does that make does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
That sounds smart. Thanks.
Okay. But if you've been using it for a while, it's not bad, I'd keep it. But if you have a funny email, I don't know, I don't have examples right now, but I'm pretty sure you've all seen some emails that are questionable. So yeah, that is my encouragement. Okay, I'm going to go to the next section, and that's the education component of a resume. So with the education component, in this case, the template that I have has education come first, as you can see here. This is advisable for, let's say, students who have not graduated yet. So let's say you don't have a degree yet, or you just graduated, so you don't have significant work experience. So at the moment, the strongest thing you have on your resume is your education. In that case, keep your resume at the very top. Sorry, keep your education aspect of your resume at the top. But then if you have been working for more than 3 years, just to quickly get an idea count here, how many of you are recent graduates or current students? How many of you have been working for more than 3 years? Hello.
Sorry.
I was asking just to get a good idea of who we're talking to today. Have any of you recently graduated or current students, or have any of you been working for less than 3 years? I've been working for less than 3 years, for instance. Do we have people on this list today?
I don't get to where the question.
So I'm making my second year actually. I graduated in 2019, so
Okay. Okay, great.
2020.
Yeah. Jean-Claude, I actually graduated in 2018. So I've been working for less than 3 years because I started working in 2019. So in this case, if you're someone who has been working for less than 3 years, you probably will have your education at the very top of your resume. However, if you've been working for longer than 3 years and have good work experience, that should come at the very top. So this here experience should be at the top and education at the bottom. Okay, now let's look at what makes up education. So education, of course, you want to know what university you went to. So I'm going to say University of Kigali. And it's good to put the address. And actually, real quick, before I get into that, if you look at this resume, you'll notice that I put the names first. So you see University of Kigali, name of employer at the head. And then on the same line, but to our extreme right, we put the address and the country. One, it helps just to know where the person has worked, just to get an idea of do they have some international experience, do they have experience working in different parts of the country. That's what that is for. But when you do that, make sure that it's uniform. So you have the country and the city on on the side of every component that you're talking about. So in this case, University of Kigali is in Kigali, Rwanda. And then Bachelor of, so put the title of what you're studying. If you have a master's, if you have a bachelor's degree, specify exactly what you've been studying. So in this case, I'm going to say Bachelor of, let's say, someone give me an idea. What did you guys study?
Bachelor in Agroforestry.
That's a great major. Okay. Thank you for that. So I'm going to quickly write Bachelor of Agroforestry. Sorry about that. Okay. And let's say you started in 2016. Oh, let's say you started in 2017. So I'm going to say August 2017 to, and maybe you're going to graduate this month. So August 2021. So it's good to see the length. If you haven't graduated yet, you can just put anticipated graduation and then put the month and year of when you plan on graduating. So let's say if you're going to graduate in December 2021. I know a good number of people today have graduated from different universities around the country. So if they applied for a job in March, they probably had to write anticipated graduation date. This helps show the employer that even though you haven't graduated yet, you're somewhere far into your courses and you can probably take on a full-time job and have a lot to contribute even though you haven't officially graduated it, but it helps. Okay, now next thing. So I know you said, who said they studied agroforestry? Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Daniel? Was that you?
It's yes, it's me, Emmanuel Sanzumukiza.
Okay. So what courses
Yes.
did you take when you were doing agroforestry?
What? Sorry?
What courses did you take in agroforestry?
Yes. like land management,
Uh-huh.
forest biotechnology.
Okay.
Okay. You
Okay.
want more?
Okay, sorry, I missed the second one. What was the second one?
The second one, I said forest biotechnology.
Nice. Okay, these are good. So why I'm asking this is, so sometimes you graduate, but you have no work experience, or probably you've had maybe an internship for a few months, you've had a gig or a kiraka for a few months, but you don't have a full-time job. In this case, you're going to use your resume, or especially this part of education, to supplement on the idea of what your knowledge is, what your expertise is in. So for instance, if an employer sees that you have, yes, maybe not worked as much as they would like, but in your degree studying agroforestry, you were able to study land management, forest biotechnology. It is great if you can put relevant coursework. I'm actually going to write it down. So relevant coursework. That way they know that, okay, yes, you have a degree in agroforestry, but what exactly did you study? And sometimes you might have a resume where you've had a couple of jobs. However, the jobs don't show how much you actually know or how much you've studied. So for instance, maybe you have a specific skill that you think is important to this role. So under education, it's important to put the section of relevant coursework and put classes on there that you think are important. So for instance, maybe you study agroforestry, but maybe you did one class in statistics, or you did one class in computer. But now as an employer, maybe you don't have a job where you did computers and stuff, but now I know that when you're at university, you studied some computer, you have some computer skills, and automatically that makes you a stronger candidate. That's why it's important to have this relevant coursework. Now, the second line is GPA or distinctions. So if, let's say, you graduate from university and you did a really good job academically, either you graduated with distinctions, upper class, you were given honors, you were number one, it also shows that academically you're strong. So it's important to mention that here. So for instance, you could say, graduated with honors or distinctions. As an employer, it will make me think, okay, this is a good candidate because they are smart, they are hardworking, and even in the academics, you can see that, they're smart. And then the next line is about your project or even a paper or thesis or dissertation. So I know that a lot of people in Rwanda, when we graduate, we write a paper, a dissertation, and we defend it. So it's always good to add that here. So it could be a thesis or dissertation. Or for people who studied in the sciences or engineering, you probably you did a project. So add that under your education sector. Because now this tells an employer you didn't just go to school and sit in class, you also went out there and did research. Oh, that's the wrong place. I meant right at the bottom. So you went out, you chose a topic that you're interested in or you're passionate about, and you worked on it for months on end. And then you produced a piece of paper, not a piece of paper, actually some work defending what you believe in, applying what you've learned in school. That for the employer shows that what you studied in school, you are able to apply in the workforce. You're able to apply in the outside world. And that's important. Someone who knows, who can learn, but also apply. So if, let's say, you worked on a project, when you submitted that defense or that paper, it had a title. So here you put the title of the paper. So I'm going to give an example. Maybe you did research on the importance of educating women. So when you do this, first of all, make sure that it's in italics. And then, sorry, I don't know why this isn't working. There we go. and make sure that every first word, okay, so the ofs, the conjunctions, they don't have to be italicized, but educating women, so something like this, italicized, so that way it shows us that that's the title of what you produced. Does that make sense? Before I move on to the next section, does anyone have questions? I'm going to quickly stop the share just to quickly go back to make sure. Okay, where are we right now? Do we have any questions? Would we like to talk more about the education part of the resume? Is anyone following?
Yeah, thanks, Yvonne. It's really eye-opening. I'm learning something new that I didn't know before. Thanks a lot for that. I just have a quick question on thesis. So, is it like always a thesis? Yeah, the part you say like I should put indicate the name of the thesis or dissertation that I conducted by then. But is it always, or is just when it is in line with the job that I'm applying for?
I think it doesn't have to be in line with the job you're applying to. I think it's just generally important to have it on there. If you did it, because did you write a thesis or dissertation?
Definitely, yes.
Yes, you did. Do you remember the amount of time you put in your research, in editing, in writing? When you're preparing for your defense, you did a lot of preparation. Do you remember that whole process?
Starting to forget, but yeah, I remember.
Good, exactly. So you know that you put your blood and sweat into that work. That is work that should be reflected on your resume. It shows, first of all, that you probably didn't have to, sometimes it's not required for people to do it, but people will go ahead and do it. So it shows that you're hardworking. It shows that you took something and you ran with it on your own. And there's a lot it says about you if you've taken the time to write a thesis and publish one. In the future, depending on where you work, you might be interested with bigger projects because that is a project itself. So it's important if you've done a thesis or a dissertation or a project in the last year, it's good for you to put that on your resume. It makes you a stronger candidate, for sure. It doesn't have to be related to whatever you're going to work, because the other skills, there's something about you that's reflected in your ability to do that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Does anyone else have questions on the education part of the resume? I'll take that.
I have a question about
Yeah.
how we can write a thesis and or project on your CV if you don't publish it. I think that when you publish, it is a sign that show that this topic is or project is my own. If you don't publish, I don't think that you may put on the reason.
I get that. So what I meant by publish, I think maybe that's, I should define that. I mean, when you worked on your thesis or your dissertation, did you submit it to your university for consideration, for grading? Did you submit it?
Yes.
Did you submit your thesis to your university?
Yes, I do it. I do it.
Okay, so if you, yeah, it doesn't have to be published in, let's say, one of our libraries in Rwanda. If you took time to do it and you submitted it to your university and your university had people sit down as a panel and watch you defend it, that is something you, in a manner, have published. So it's worthy to put it on your resume. But if you, let's say you have a project that you worked on as a student and you learned a lot, you spent time doing it, You could put it under projects or extracurricular activities. If let's say you did submit it to school, but it's something that you spend time on, you believe you develop your skills, you believe you develop your knowledge and expertise on the matter, that's something you could come back and put at the bottom of your resume. So that way the employer can see that you're not just active in school, outside, you're also active, you're proactive. Actually, I think that's the better word to use here. You're proactive, you are interested in something, you see a problem, you work on solving it, you see something you don't know much about, you work hard on writing about it. That makes you stand out as a candidate. Actually, that can make you stand out as a candidate better than someone who has so much work experience when you don't have any. So it's important if you worked on something, anything, that you add it there to your resume. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm going to quickly go back and then we'll start talking about experience, which is very important for the resume. I'm sharing again. Okay, now that we've completed this part, now let's talk about experience. So experience, of course, as you can even look at this template, the experience is a very key part of the resume. So now what I'm going to do to make this a very interactive session for us, how many of you tonight have jobs? How many of you are working? Okay, let me say it this way. Anyone here who has a job? Alain, let me pick on Alain who hasn't spoken yet. Alain, do you have a job at the moment, or do you have a job you've held in the past?
Okay, thank you. I just say I don't have a job, but right now I'm an intern. Used to matter. That's what I can say.
Oh,
Past,
So I
yes.
think that if I may, I think that I was done an international job for 3 months. How you can put on it in your experience?
Okay, I'm going to get to that real quick. So for instance, let me go back to Anna. So Anna, you just told me you are an intern at Rwanda. So I'm going to put that under title. How long have you been interning at Rwanda?
Thank you. I'm in town from this August. I don't think if you can put it there, but I don't know. But
Yes.
I'm turning from this August to November.
Okay, in which department?
Oh, in agriculture.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to say, so Rwanda, or if you're in the ag department, then you are working under the bridge career services. Sorry, not bridge career services. What's it called? Okay, I'm forgetting. Wow, I'm blanking on the actual name of. Okay, so Rwanda. Yes, go ahead.
Is it Foundation for Farming?
Yes, IFFF. So I'm going to put the name as Foundations for Farming. Foundations for Farming. I make sure it's in capital letters. And then you say you just started this month, so August 2021. So what you can do, if you're still doing that job, you can put to present. Or if it has ended, having shooted to answer your question, what you could do if it's only been 3 months, you can just write the 3 months. So you can write August 2021 to November 2021. So that's August, September, October, November. Actually, that's 4 months. So you can write the months and the year that you've worked at a certain place. So I'm going to stop here. We have the name, we have the title of what you're doing, We have when, how long you've been doing it, and where. Now we're going to get to the part where we explain what you're doing. Now, Alain, tell me what you do as an intern at FFF.
Thank you. As my colleague said, we are doing foundation for farming as our internship course. So, um, can you explain to me what you want me
For
to
sure.
highlight so that can put them there?
Okay.
This is what we do in our day.
Okay, yes. Basically, yeah. Keep building on that idea. Hello? Okay, let me build on what you're saying. So when I said that that's the experience part is the most important part of your resume, what I meant is, yes, the employer wants to know where did you study, what skills do you have. However, when it comes to experience, they want to know, okay, sometimes they'll see someone. So let's say you're applying to MTN and you have previously worked at Airtel. The fact that you have Airtel on your resume is good. They're like, okay, they've worked somewhere that looks like MTN. However, you need to go further, more than just telling them where you worked or what title you had. They want to know you specifically as a person. So you, Alain, you, Emab, what did you contribute? So in this case, let's say, I'm going to give you an example. At the Bridge Career Services, what we do is we help Rwandan youths who are recent graduates and probably don't have any work experience to find jobs in Rwanda, in Kigali or outside of Kigali. That is what the broader mission of Bridge Rwanda does. I mean, Bridge Career Services, which is great. That's great to put on a resume. However, it is not at all specifically what I do. So in my case, I would say edit resumes and help candidates prepare for interviews. That's bullet one. In this case, what makes that as a powerful statement is I'm using verbs, first of all, that are very clear. It's not responsible for. Responsible for doesn't exactly capture the verb of what you're doing. But if I say edit resumes, help prepare, it tells you exactly, if you were to imagine, okay, what am I doing at my office? You would know. You won't leave it up to imagination. You know specifically what my contribution is. If my second bullet is interview candidates for jobs, you know that when I go to work, I interview people. So that's what employers are looking to see on your resume. More than just know where you're working or what title you have, they want to know on the daily basis, what do you as an individual do? What do you contribute in the overall mission of that organization, of that company? Now, sorry to put you on the spotlight again, Alain. Now, with that information, tell me a little bit more about what you do at FFF.
Okay, thank you. What I can say, we just do conservation and farming. Just to do conservation farming, and we did a little bit about the difference between conservation farming and conversion farming.
Okay, so that's the general mission of FFF. Well, not the general, there's a lot more to FFF. FFF is doing great work. But you as Anna, when you wake up and you go to the office, what do you do? Like, what do you help Rosine with? Like, what do you do?
Sorry?
Tell me a little more about what you do. What your contribution is.
My contribution as a farmer here in this internship we do some like some works in the farm.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you in a bridge to one. So I don't know if you want for apart from bridge to one.
I am. I'm one of the departments. So I'm gonna quickly put this in Kinyarwanda to explain more about it. So kuri component ya experience ndi kuganiraho kanongere nisubizeho twirebe. So nkaha experience iyi ngiyi niyo the most important part ya resume kubera ko baba bashaka kureba yego warize yego akoze ufite skills zikoresha computer uvuga indimi zingahe ariko muri experience baba bashaka yego twatwe nk'ubu foundations for farming ngubu ala agiye gushaka akazi ahandi hantu bakora farming kubera bazi foundations for farming ko bigisha aba farmers neza cyangwa abantu bashaka bari interested muri agriculture bigisha neza bazana yego azi foundations arabisobanukiwe ubwenge bwo arabufite however ushobora kuba ufite ubwenge ariko utazi gukora so experience aho ikomeye cyane aho usanga resume bishingiye cyane baba bashaka yego wenda akoze muri biro nini yego wenda kuri manager wari iki title yego byose ariko ntabwo biri as important nko kumenya wowe nk'umuntu wajya ku kazi ni iki wakoraga kugira ngo nituguhire ukaza ni iki uzabasha gukora muri aka kazi so for instance katuvuge nk'uko nabivuze njyewe ushobora kuvuga yego nkora muri bridge care services dufasha abantu badafite experience kubona akazi urumva iyo ni mission nyine nkuru y'akazi aho ukorera ariko ngiye nk'umuntu iyo ndi kwa applying n'ahandi hantu nka applying nka Yvonne bashaka kumenya wowe Yvonne uzi gukora iki so nkanjye nahita mvuga mfasha abantu kwandika application zabo na resume zabo mfasha abantu ku prepara niba bafite interview iyo dufite abantu bari kwa applying ku kazi nitwe tuza tukaba interviewing so ubu ngubu difference aho ngaho ni uko nkubwiye njyewe ku giti cyanjye apana nka Bruce Rwanda ngiye ku giti cyanjye ni iki nshoboye gukora ni iki nkora ku kazi buri munsi so experience that is the most important part uba ugomba gukoramo so abantu benshi usanga banditse ngo in charge of deliveries cyangwa ugasanga ni nka in charge cyangwa responsible for ntabwo ukoresheje a verb iri strong enough kumenya ngo oya uzi gukora iki ngiki so ndaguha example so katuvuge nimba uri manager ahantu ushobora kuvuga ati led the team were organizing so those are verbs tubwira exactly icyo wakoze naraorganizinze narafundraisinze kugira ngo tubone amafaranga na creatinze events zizamo abantu gutyo muri kumva iyo difference aho ngaho also I know we started off in English but if people feel more comfortable in other languages please go ahead and speak in those languages and then we'll just go back and forth gutyo so since nkuko bivuze iyi niyo the most important part of your resume ushaka ya resume ikomeye cyangwa iri really good ahangaha niho ubirebera now I'm going to stop here let me hear from you guys mumpe examples for again nkuko ale yatubwiye ati ngiye nkora iki abandi mumbwire ari resume yawe ushatse kudescribinga nk'umuntu ushaka guha akazi wamubwira ute ati ngiye nkora iki wamubwira iki hello
okay murakoze hello
yeah
okay I'm aimable I experienced some problem someone have changed my settings so I didn't hear you but now we are together so wenda kuri icyo twari turiho kijyanye n'ibyo waba warakoze ugomba kudescribinga muri kuri resume yawe ugomba kuvuga ibyo ukora, experience ufite nkawe nyine ubwawe, ibyo wakoze, niba ari ahantu wakoze ukavuga uti wenda nakoraga ibintu ibi n'ibi runaka, nk'urugero wenda nko muri Bridge to Rwanda, wenda nk'urugero natanga nk'ejo twakoze kuri composting, ukabisobanura neza ukabyekana ko wabikoze nyine. So ndumva nk'ibyo ngibyo urebye.
Okay. Nkawe Aimable, none ndashaka umbwire munsi ku wundi wowe ugiye ku kazi cyangwa ugiye muri stage ukora iki? Nkawe ugatingira ku kazi ugakora iki n'iki n'iki, wenda hari igihe usanga wenda ubikora aya mezi akandi mezi ntabwo ari byo ukora. Wowe mbwira just generally imyaka yose ukoze cyangwa amezi yose ukozeyo, ni iki wowe nk'umuntu ku giti cyawe waba waracontributinze mu kazi kawe, n'ibyo waba washaka kureba. Ibyo misifite ntabwo ari ngombwa, ni wowe icyo washaka ni ikihe.
Yego. Okay, murakoze. Wenda muri 2019 after graduation, hari lecture twakoranye akantu ni project yari afite, noneho turakorana ahantu kuri field njye ko I did irrigation and drainage. So twafashe umurima turawutunganya neza, nyuma yo kuwutunganya dushyiramo ziriya materials za irrigation equipment, twakoresheje system ebyiri, sprinkler irrigation and drip irrigation. Twari turimo gutestinga ukuntu ni ku birayi nyine, tureba systeme izatanga umusaruro kurenza indi. Dufata umurima tuwucamo proti zitandukanye, uduproti dutoya, kamwe tukashyiramo ibirayi, kamwe dukoresha drip irrigation, akandi dukoresha sprinkler irrigation. So aho niho navuga nyamukuru naba narakoze ku bintu bijyanye na agriculture muri uwo murima, nari farm manager.
Okay, thank you. So that's a really good description. So nkawe Aimable wari farm manager, so katuvuge ufite nk'abantu bakuripotingagaho, sibyo?
Yego.
Katuvuge nk'ubwo ngubwo icyaba kizwe tunatubwira ati led a team, katuvuge bari batandatu, led a team of farmers, ukajya uvuga ati buri cyumweru ukabaha plan y'ibyo mugiye gukora.
Yes.
So wowe tuvuga ati ngiye ku giti cyanjye, yego iyi niyo misiyo yakoraga, ariko ku giti cyanjye nabyo mbere kafata abo bantu batandatu ba reporting abo nkuriye, kabaha plan, umva nka planning out the week. Ukavuga uti noneho uvuze ngo kwaga muri irrigation and drainage, ati set irrigation system. So urumva misime yego akoze hari ahantu, ariko we yakoze iki natumwe azi nk'umuntu yatumye azi gu setting up irrigation system, azi abantu nk'umushinzi abantu 10 yabashobora misime ko wakoze leadership. So part is so important. Abantu kandi aha niho akenshi muri applications abantu firaho nahanga usanga bashyizeho aho bakoze n'icyo bakorayo, nyine icyo aho hantu hashinzwe, nimba ari MTN baduha airtime, ariko simenye ngo wowe uri MTN wakoraga iki. Ndashaka kumenya ngo ninkuzana hano akazi ugashoboye, uzabasha kuleading abandi bantu, uzabasha gutyping, uzabasha gukora projects ukayitangira ukayirangiza. So nyine experience ni ibyo bishaka kuvuga, ntabwo bishaka kuvuga ngo mukore iki hariya, wowe nk'umuntu ku giti cyawe ushoboye gukora
iki
specifically you.
Yes.
Ushobora kuba mukorana muri nk'ubu nuko uyu munsi badahari, nk'ubu dushobora kuba twara muri Bush Care Services turabana 10 n'ubundi. Misiyo ya Bush Care Services ni imwe, akazi dukora n'imigambi yacu n'imwe turayisangiye. However, ninandika resume yanjye ntabwo izasa nk'iya mugenzi wanjye, kubera we ashinzwe amafaranga so akatubwira nge nkora payroll nishyura abantu buri kwezi nkolectinga invoices nkora ibintu nk'ibyo urumva kandi turakorana ariko ngewe ntabwo ari ukuri uvuga iyanjye yavuga ati mfasha abantu gukora iki n'iki ni interviewinga abantu nk'abo urumva iyo difference.
Yes.
Zake ndabona yamanitse ukuboko tuvugane ntacyo. Tell me what's your question.
Okay, murakoze cyane. Ndatangiye negisikiza nagiye ngira ikibazo cya internet.
Nta kibazo.
Ariko ko nunganira tugeze ahantu heza. Niba dusobanura key points zigomba kugaragara muri resume. Wenda tugerageza umuntu madufasha tugenda dukosora wenda nk'iyanjye nge nasoje 2019 at the end of 2019 nagize amahirwe nkorana na Rema aho twari turi mu gukora supervision y'umushinga witwa Rafeke wafashaga abaturage mu Rutsiro gutera ibiti bivangwa n'imyaka. Nge rero nari ndi mu itimu nyihedinze yari ishinzwe data collection and na forest inventory. Ariko tugeze kuri field byabaye ngombwa ko tunafasha abaturage twahasanze mu gukora pepiniere. Yeza cyenezeyo nkasanga birakiko barabikoraga ariko bakabikora mu buryo ubona biri in disorder way. So twaragiye barafite pepiniere ya za Risena as Agroforestry and Eltinia I guess. Agroforestry aho nagiye niyo timu twari kumwe tubafasha kudesigninga pepiniere site yayo. No tubasha gusavinga abaturage bagaze nko around 20 household. So ubwo rero amugani nko mu gihe dukora civil twajya gushyiramo
Hello. Hello. Zake? Hello. Okay. Hello. Okay. Ndabona ishitse ariko nagaruka aratubwira. Kwa ingi yari the most important part of the resume niyo nshaka kwibanda cyane. In the meantime, when the consider navuye. Does anyone have questions? This will end in 20 minutes. I just want to make sure the party experience trace one is kwa niho rushingi. Does anyone have questions?
Ndatekereza ko wenda urugero wenda nabaye agronomiste muri Rwanda based noneho ubwo ngiye kuvuga description yanjye ngo navuga ko wenda nakoraga organization y'akazi kazakugwa umunsi ku munsi noneho nk'abandi wenda nkavuga ko buri nagomba kubona ukontrolinga nimba hareba peste cyangwa peste zishobora kuba zajemo cyangwa amafangaza abashobora kuba yakataka ibyo bihingwa. Ubwo nkakora n'icyo bita wenda na report no kuri reporting
ni ngombwa cyane.
Wenda hakazamo na ndumva ari ibyo ngibyo cyangwa no kuganiriza n'abakozi bari muri department yanjye. Ndumva byaba ari uko biba bimeze.
Urumva ukuntu utubwiye ntabwo aho ukorera ntabwo nabwira neza ngo mukora iki ariko wowe nk'umuntu uzi ibyo ukora ufite ibintu bya controlling, sorry, muri technical ntabwo nabyumvise neza, ariko hari controlling, ukoze mu kazi kandi kari simultaneous umuntu arabisobanukiwe. Ariko ikindi kintu kandi actually that you just touched on kiri very important ni ikintu twita soft skills. Hari igihe uba ufite kazi ukora nko muri lab cyangwa ukora nko muri farm cyangwa ukora nk'aho ukora haba ari technical wagiye ukabyigira, urumva ukabyigira ukabimetriza, siko mugenzi wawe cyangwa undi muntu abizi. Oya, ntabwo nkuko mbivuze nta nubwo mbizi, sibyo? Ibyo biba biri technical, so urabivuze uratubwiye, sibyo? Ariko ikindi wongeyeho gati, for instance uvuze ko ukora ama reports ndumva ari ubuzi buke cyane budasaba reporting. So kubona ngo ukora report ku kazi wenda ubikora buri kwezi cyangwa gatatu mu mwaka nta kibazo ukabishyiramo. Nisimenya ko reporting ni ibintu ukora. Reporting is very important. Usibuti uvugana na departments zindi. Ubwo ikintu mbwiye, without even saying it in those exact words, urambwiye yuko ufite personal skills, ufite people skills. So muri makeya nk'umuhaye akazi nzi yuko ufite ubushobozi kandi ufite na experience yo gukorana n'abandi bantu. Ufite experience yo kwatisha nko gutuma kujya muri ministeri kanaka cyangwa kujya guhura n'uyu mu investor. Ibyo ni ibintu uzobereyemo, uzi kuvugisha abantu in the workplace, uri professional. So those are very important skills, and nubwo tutarajyana muri skills section urabimbwiye ko bifite. So back to experience. Yuri kwandika experience yawe n'icyo ukora. It's not just the technical part. Do you have leadership? Do you have reporting? Uzi nko kwandika, uzi communicating n'abandi bantu. Katuvuge wenda ukora nko muri mu nkambi wenda hatakunze kwamo conflict. Uzi nko kumediating, tugiye kwicaza zino parties ebyiri zifitemo ikibazo ariko turaza kubikemurana hamwe. You need a soft skill. So when you're writing that, think about other things. When you're kuri computer, wenda nzikora events, ntabwo nshaka kuvuga ati kwa gatanu nshyiraho event aho mpamagara abandi ba farmers tukaza tukishaka tugasangira ibibazo. Ibyo bihita bimbwira nk'umuntu ku giti cyawe tuvuye no kuri profession uri muntu ki. At the end of the day turashaka umuntu joining nka team twati yego azi gukora akazi ke ariko gusabana muri community ameze ati. So ni ibintu utubwiye utarinze kubivuga muri directly ayo magambo. Do you see what makes experience strong? What strengthens that experience part of the resume? Okay. Nize ko misobanukiye haba inshuti kabisa ni example nziza cyane. Ubyanditse gutyo byaba ari byo pe. Kandi kambanko haje kugenda nyuma y'iyi session muze kujya mu nyine mu resume ya urebe n'iki kindi wenda ntatekereje mbere kwandika, but that's actually important. That will tell the employer what I'm like. Ego. Hari abandi bafite ibibazo? Hello? Okay, I'm going to go to the next section, but please experience plans with that it's important. Even now, okay, experience you yanditse neza isobanura exactly what you do, nta kintu wibagiwe ukoresha verbs zikomeye. By the way, I know nimba utara up for this call, dushaka dafite email yawe. So I'd like to quickly encourage all of you nanone munyohereze email zanyu kugira ngo one nzabohereze ino recording kugira ngo nzagoye back munyuremo kugira ngo mbohereze iyi template yo gukoresha. Icya gatatu kugira ngo mbohereze nyine list ya verbs wakoresha muri resume ya kugira ngo ibe strong standing out. So in the meantime, please write your email muri chat box hano. Thank you, Sanzumukiza Aiseyandika. Okay, so I'm going back to the resume template. Okay, so now experience. I don't think one of the examples here. Okay, have me example. coordinated math and reading tutoring sessions with 3 other tutors for a class of 25 first graders. So this person has coordination skills. They teach math and reading. So another example, planned a public health lecture series to highlight the need for policy changes to enhance a healthy lifestyle among low-income populations in the city of Lincoln. So for instance, is a public health, global health, you studied public health and global health. However, how are you applying that information in your community? Or what are you doing that in the workplace? So you've planned series, you've talked to people, you've interacted with your community. Okay, now I section ya awards and honors. So nk'ubu ushaka yego navuze mbere ushaka gushyira honors wenda wa graduating z'uru wa mbere cyangwa distinctions cyangwa upper class ibyo bishyira hejuru. But ahangaha ni awards na honors katuvuge nimba kanshaka example nk'ubu katuvuge sinzi mba hari abantu hano bakora nka Andela. Ugasanga Andela for instance hajya ajya gukora ama competition abantu bagakora nk'ama apps cyangwa bakakora nk'ama softwares cyangwa wenda wakoze competition aho ukora project uwa mbere. Ahangaha niho ubishyira baba bashaka kureba yego wakoze iki, wenda wabonye igihembo. Niba waba uri umuntu ukina sport hati nge nirukanse muri race mu wa mbere, so ahangaha niho uzishyira. Then skills ni ahandi hantu hari so important. So icya mbere baba bashaka kumenya uvuga izihe ndimi, niho ndi kubona hano foreign language skills. So yego uvuga Ikinyarwanda, uvuga Icyongereza, uvuga Igifaransa se cyangwa uvuga Swahili, aha niho ubishyira. Icya kabiri ni ako navuze technical skills. Technical skills ni nka katuvuge ni muri applying to a job, farming, wenda ugomba kuzi irrigation, ugomba kuzi project management, ibintu nk'ibyo ubishyiremo aho ngaho. Nimba uri umuntu wakoze nko muri laboratoire ubishyiremo naho gatinzi ku run, okay, muri lab sinzi ibyo navuga ariko technical skills murazumva. Uzi gukoresha computer se, uzi gukora research, uzi gukora data analysis, uzi gukoresha Excel. Buriya Excel ni ikintu gikomeye cyane. Nimba uzi uyisobanukiwe bishyira aho ngaho. Nimba uzi nko gucoding, ko nzi gukora C++, nzi gukora Java, nzi gukora HTML, izo zose Python zishyira aho ngaho. So aho ngaho skills nicyo ibimaze. So byo urabilistinga ntago no objects things, just a list of things. Abarayikohereza resumes, nako email zanyu murakoze cyane, biraza kutworohera kumukina up tukabaha all this information. So dusigaje iminota 10, ufite ibibazo yambwira tukaganira cyangwa ntabwo it doesn't even have to be questions. If you have any contribution, hari nk'ibintu nshaka nko kwibagiwe ariko ari ngombwa to make a good resume, so you can quickly jump on the call and you can just share your thoughts.
Okay, thank you. Me, Ale, I have a question. I need to know the exact size of this resume. For example, for the recent time, we've been experiencing some CVs or some job, some employers who told you that you don't exceed 2 pages. So I need to know what exact size of it. Thank you.
Okay, so right now, that's a very important question, Hugo. I should have started with that. So what we do is, if you've not been working for more than 5 years, we strongly encourage you to keep your resume to 1 page. More important, bigire kuri 2 pages, but not longer than 2. Hari igihe ureba ugasanga umuntu afite nka resume afite pages 5. Ariko put yourself in some people's shoes by recruitment team. Katuvuge you are recruiting for a position ifite 150 applications. From our experience, we have seen applications these are nk'ijana na. katuvuge wenda ni umukiriya ashaka ko tumuha list y'abantu twa shortlistinze mu minsi 3. At the end of the day, we can only spend just a minute or 2 maximum on one resume. Hari some places they will spend 30 seconds. Amasegonda 30 ahubwo aba yabaye menshi cyane. Hari abantu bareba resume bashaka ninyireba gutyo mite mbona ibyangombwa afite degree iyi ngiyi yakoze aha n'aha quickly nareba bullet points, niyo mpamvu ushira bullet points numva kandi bikaba sentence imwe itari ndende, sibyo? Ugomba kuba sentence yuzuye ahubwo nkahita menya wakoze iki n'iki n'iki. Uburyo mu masegonda 30 mpita menya icyo wakoze, nkahita menya yes or no. Ariko iyo umuntu arebye resume ndende cyane agira ubunebwe ugasanga cyangwa gushakisha okay ni he nsanga experience kumva ari birebire. So what we do is we seriously encourage you to keep, if you can, keep it to 1 page. If you can't, maximum 2 pages. It will do you a favor for sure. Matia, that's the importance of writing a strong resume. Ushaka naireba gutya ahita amenya all the important information. Ibintu bya 5 pages, 7 pages, harimo uduki, udustars, ifoto, ibyo ni ibya kera ubikuramo. Ushyiramo igihe wavukiye, amazina y'ababyeyi, aho utuye, nimba wubatse, ibyo ntabwo biri ngombwa, ntawe bihuye n'akazi uzakora. Ibyo ushyira hirya, ibyangombwa ukabishyira kuri 1 page. Byakabije 2 pages. Does that answer your question?
Okay, thank you. I got it.
Okay, perfect. Does anyone have any more questions? Okay, so I have, I think, everyone's resume. I have everyone's email. So what we will do, we will send you this template. When you go and you editing the resume yawe, I'll send the resume, so the verbs, so resume yawe, and that's categorized in the different sections. Project management, you have verbs explaining what you do, and a link to the recording.
So I have one more question, please.
Go ahead.
I need to know, ntago numvishe neza ku kijyanye na references watubwiraho references and
Good.
so what to advise.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So actually ngiye kubivuga ko ntago iriho right now. So what we do is, and this is from also our experience, we don't just help people find jobs, the clients dufasha gushaka kubona abantu. So what we've noticed is rarely do people ask for references. So usanga wenda ari bwa buziho bafite nk'abantu 200 bagashaka the last 2 bashaka kwita muri abo babiri nibo bari bugende bagasaba references kugira ngo kumenya. So basically on a resume, it's better ushyiraho just your information, references iyo bakeneye barabagusaba. Also, it's also in good practice yabo ngabo basabye ngo kubera references. That way email na nimero zabo ntabwo zisangiye na buri muntu wese wapayinzeho wenda udashaka ko inimero yawo uyisangira gutyo. So it's better you just write your resume, your information, and if that employer requests them, then ukabufite ukabawohereza. Cyangwa ibyo ushiraho applying ahantu ugasanga banditse please add 3 references, their phone numbers and emails. Aho ngaho ufite ya resume yawe ukayiediting ukabashyiraho, but just for that position. Ubundi references, just keep them off your resume. Does that answer your question?
Okay, ubwo bivuze ngo iyo batagusabye references ntabwo ari ngombwa ngo wowe ubwawe ubashyireho.
Ntabwo ari ngombwa.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, do we have any more questions? Hello. Okay, I'm guessing not. Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for being here with us tonight. And I hope this won't be your last Bridge Career Services event or workshop. We tried to touch on different aspects of how to make a strong candidate, or in many cases, to inviting a different speakers from Rwanda, but requiring different sectors from farming to public service to business, kugira ngo batwungureho ibitekerezo. So we hope that you can join us for future events. I will be reaching out tomorrow with the information. Nabwiye ko nzasangira namwe. Otherwise, unless you have any questions or comments, we can call it a night. Thank you for being with us, Emmanuel. Yeah.
Okay. I don't have any question about this session, but what I want is to thank you for having us. Thank you for these skills. I hope it is going to help us in our future careers. Thank you for your time.
I hope so too. Thank you. Thank you for all your contributions, all your questions. Bituma discussion iba vibrant nyishyika nk'umuntu ibibazo byanyu bituma nibuka n'ibindi bintu yari yagiye kuvuga. So I also appreciate all your questions and contributions. Okay. Well, have a wonderful evening. Hopefully we will see each other again on a different call. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Likewise. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good evening.
You too.